Hi everyone, I'm Miss Mary Beth. I'm the Youth Services Librarian at Ingalls Memorial Library in Ringe. And I'm here today for Fun Friday. And I'm pretty excited about our Fun Friday because not only am I baking, which I love to do, but I'm baking a special dessert to celebrate Conant High School's graduating class of 2020. I have my Conant Orioles shirt on, so I'm ready to go. And their colors are black and orange. So I'm gonna make black bottom cupcakes, which are very delicious. And then I'm gonna add some orange buttercream. I like to make homemade buttercream using powdered sugar, milk, and a little bit of vanilla and some butter. And when I make that, I'll just add a little bit of orange food coloring and I'll put it on top of the cupcakes so that they're black and orange to celebrate this year's graduating class because they had a bit of a rough year. And I'm glad that today is going to be their graduation. I'm excited for them that they get to celebrate this big accomplishment. So I thought I would make some special cupcakes for that graduating class. So to make these cupcakes, they're gonna be chocolate cupcakes with a special secret filling inside. So I have a lot of different steps to this, but I have all my ingredients and I'm ready to go. So first we're gonna sift together all of the dry ingredients. So I'm gonna take 1.5 cups of flour. So I have my cup measure, put it in my flour, and I'm just gonna take my knife and smooth out the top. That way it's all filled in. 1 cup, and then 1/2 cup, 1.5 cups of flour, and then I'll take 1 cup of sugar. So I'll take my cup measure, scoop it into my sugar container. Again, I'll scrape the top to make it all flat. My sister's a professional baker and she says it's okay if you add a little bit of extra sugar. I think that's probably okay. So I'll put in some sugar and then 1/4 cup of cocoa. So I have Hershey's cocoa ready to go because that will make it very chocolatey. So I'll take my little tiny 1/4 cup measure and I'll put it in and I'll smooth out the top just a little bit. Add that to the rest of my dry ingredients. Baking is usually what you add. You take dry ingredients and you add it to the wet. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And then I need 1 teaspoon of salt, which is not a lot of salt. But I have my teaspoon measure ready to go. And this one is cool because I slide it up and I make it all different measurements. But I'll leave it on the biggest one because we need a teaspoon. Teaspoon of salt. Add that. And that's it. That is it for my wet ingredients. So my dry ingredients, sorry. So I'm just gonna stir all of those together. Most of this requires mixing, so then I'm gonna use my KitchenAid mixer to mix all of my wet that I'll add the dry to. So I'm mixing all of those. So I think it's pretty well mixed. What do you think? It's a little light brown. So that was flour, sugar, cocoa, salt. Ooh, I think I forgot the baking soda, didn't I? And that is just 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So I'll take that and I'll add that. I want to make sure I get the measurement perfectly right on that. Okay, we just need a little bit more. Perfect, there we go. I'll add that. Now all of my dry ingredients are mixed all together. Okay, I'm just gonna put that to the side for a second while we focus on our wet ingredients. So we did flour, sugar, cocoa, salt, baking powder, baking soda. Now I'm gonna add all of my wet ingredients to this mixer. So first I need 1 cup of water. So I measured that out already. It's at the very top. It's 1 cup of water. I'll just pour that in. Then I need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So again, I'll take my measuring spoon, my teaspoon size measuring spoon. I'll add some vanilla. just vanilla and water in there, so it doesn't look super appetizing yet, but will be great. Then I need some vegetable oil, and I need 1/3 of a cup. So that's this cup measure, 1/3 of a cup, and I'll add that in. And then my last one is 1 tablespoon of vinegar. 1 tablespoon, so this is a bigger measure. So I'm going to take that, add my tablespoon. So right now it's just all these wet ingredients in a bowl. Water and oil don't really mix super well, so it's just wet. So now I'm going to take all of my dry stuff and I'm going to add it to my mixing bowl. I'll add it all. Almost all of it in. And then I'll just mix it. It's just to sift together dry ingredients, add them to the wet, and mix. When you're mixing stuff, you want to make sure that you get all of the dry ingredients added to the wet. So it helps if you stop and scrape the bowl every once in a while, because right now it looks like that. So you can see it's pretty liquidy, but you can also see that there's a lot of powder. So we want to make sure that all the powder gets added. So it helps if you stop for a second, add them all in, and then mix it again. And that's our cupcakes. That's the cake part of it. We're not done yet. So you don't want to overmix. So you just want to kind of make sure that everything looks incorporated. And I think it looks pretty good because I don't see any dry ingredients on the side. It's pretty liquidy, but I think that's okay. Just we follow the directions. So now I'm just going to put that to the side for a second. And I'm going to make our filling. Our filling is going to be pretty delicious. It's going to be cream cheese, chocolate chips, an egg, and some sugar. So we'll get started on that. So I have to cream the cream cheese in the mixer. And I'll use this mixer, the handheld mixer. That way I don't mix the dirty one with the new clean one that I need. And there's a bunch of baking ingredients in there, so I'm not going to use that one. And this calls for 8 ounces of cream cheese. So I'm going to put in my cream cheese, and it just says to start by creaming it. Pretty loud when I scrape the bowl, but that's okay. So when you cream it, you're just making it a little lighter and fluffier than normal. You want to make sure that some air gets in there. And you want to make sure you get all of it. Okay. So when you feel like it's creamy enough, when it's not so solid anymore, then I'm going to add the sugar. So the sugar, we need 1/3 of a cup. So I'm going to take my sugar. I'm going to take my 1/3 cup measure. Scoop it in. Shake it out to level it a little. I'm going to add it in. And I'm just going to mix that until it's all incorporated together. this one, I want to make sure that I get all the sugar in. So I'm just going to scrape the sides of the bowl too to add in all the sugar. Because you want to incorporate it all really well. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. It's just a mix of cream cheese and sugar. You can't really see the sugar, but I think it looks like it's all pretty well blended together. So now I'm going to add 1 egg. Just one. 1 egg. The egg has like a greenish tint to it because it's from backyard chickens. So I'm going to add in my egg. I'm going to blend that. And it just says, and mix until blended. So you just want to make sure that all of the ingredients look like they're all together. So I'm going to, again, scrape the sides to get everything. And I'll just blend it one more time. I think it looks pretty good. There we go. So now it says to fold in chocolate chips. I'm a big fan of chocolate chips, so any recipe that has me add in chocolate chips sounds good to me. And it's 6 ounces, so I've already measured out my 6 ounces of chocolate chips. So I'll just add in those. And it says fold in. If it says fold, that means you don't want to mix because that will break up the chocolate chips. I've done that with cookies before, where it says fold in the chocolate chips and I mix them and they all just get crumbled up, which is still delicious. Okay, so now my chocolate chips are all folded in. And now I'm gonna put them in the cupcakes. So what I've done is I've taken my cupcake tray and I've added some liners to it. Move this over here. And then I'm going to, it says line muffin tins with cupcake papers. Did that. Then it says fill the cupcake tins to 2/3 full of chocolate batter. So I'm going to take my chocolate batter and I'm going to, I'm going to use this to scoop them out. So I'll just take it and I'll fill it 2/3 of the way full. So almost to the top, but not all the way because cupcakes are going to rise up a little bit. Plus, we have to add other things, don't we? So let me take this. Kind of making a little bit of a mess, but that happens sometimes. So now I'll show you what I'm going to do. I've only filled in some of them, but that's okay. There's some of them. So I filled some of them 2/3 of the way full. Then I'm going to spoon in 1 tablespoon of the cream cheese mixture. So this spoon is actually a tablespoon, so I'm going to take that. I'm going to take my knife. And I'm just going to push it right into the center. Oh. Do those for all of them, and then I'll show you how it looks. Take a pump and scoop it in. scoop it in. There we go. So when they're all done, the chocolate will rise, it will go over it, and it'll be like a special surprise when you bite into the cupcake. So I'll finish up on those, and I'll also make some buttercream, and I'll add some orange to it. That way they're chocolate and they're black and orange for Conant. So I'll get these in the oven, and I'll post a picture of what they look like when they're all done. And I'll also post the recipe. Thanks for baking with me. Have a fun day.